What? Tyson! Yeah! Can't steal it! Woo! Wheel and deal it! The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better. I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
I'm the man of the hour, the man with the power. You sleep to be sour.
It's showtime, folks!
Welcome to the Grill Out. From the heart of Shillian, West Virginia, here's your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grill Outs episode 61. I am your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty, and I'm joined here by the reigning and today defending undisputed Grill Out Heavyweight Predictions Champion. I just keep mixing the words up more.
The reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion of everything that ever was and ever will be forever, today, tomorrow, yesterday. Thank you.
Josh Cole, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Is joining me here in the studio. Jason is off at a undisclosed location. We'll say that. He has some things that he has to take care of, but we do have his predictions.
Yeah.
So he did send us that.
I'm defending.
Yes, Josh is defending his title.
Number 4.
Yeah, he is defending his title on this episode for this upcoming Saturday.
Yep.
AEW Full Gear. So, and we do have some news involving that, but we'll talk about that later on in this segment. One of the first things that we're going to touch base on, it's not Hall of Fame season for WWE, but it is the Hall of Fame season for the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So, the Wrestling Observer newsletter unveiled their latest inductees into their Hall of Fame. And it goes as follows. And then I have the corresponding votes for them on here. So Roman Reigns, he's going in with 307 votes.
I acknowledge him.
Yes, plenty of 307.
It's like a landslide. Good Lord.
Pretty much. Shingo Takagi was going in with 185 votes. Paul Orndorff, 291. Johnny Rougeau, 254. The Young Bucks going in with 280. Los Hermanos Dynamite. Yes, Los.
You said Los.
Los. Leave me alone. 115 votes. Shima going in with 170. Johnny Saint with 128.
No.
Yes.
Kick him out.
They voted. They put him in there. Bobby Davis
Lord.
going in with 244
not Bobby
votes.
Blaze.
Not Bobby Blaze. Not Bobby Blaze. So, yes, that is going to be the Wrestling Observer newsletter's inductee in their 2024 class going into the Hall of Fame this year. This is an interesting one per se, because I think he who shall not be named, Chris Benoit, is still in this Hall of Fame. I think there's other ones that he's been removed from for obvious reasons.
I assume he was put in when he was still living.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That happens quite often. Like
Yeah.
they like Roman Reigns, he's not retired or anything, but he's getting inducted into it. And you have to have so many votes to remove somebody, and from my understanding, Chris Benoit just made the votes to where they could keep him in the Hall of Fame. So these are voted on by people who are in the business, historians. Let's see. It's voted by reporters, historians, industry professions, and industry professionals from the past. And the voting is broke down in 6 categories. And this is coming from the man himself, Dave Meltzer. U.S. and Canada modern. Yes. Wrestlers / other industry standouts whose last year as a top star fit into the past 30 or 1994. U.S. and Canada historical whose last year in what would be considered a main star position was 1993 or earlier. Japan, Mexico, rest of the world, and a section for non-wrestlers, just as managers, promoters, television announcers, owners, and even referees, and musical composers and belt makers, Josh, are able to get inducted into the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. To be recognized, wrestlers need at least 60% of the vote from the specific region or time frame. If a wrestler receives less than 10% of the vote, then they are removed from the following year's ballot. If a wrestler does not receive the required voting after 15 years, they are no longer eligible. Those who receive less than 10% of the votes and will not be eligible in 2025 are as follows: Asuka, Kevin Owens, Jimmy and Jey Uso, Sid Vicious, Bray Wyatt, Sami Zayn, Kento Miyahara, and Psycho Clown. So they received less than 10% of the vote, so they will not be eligible for the 2025 ballot. Those who have been added to next year's ballot are Masaki Mochizuki, Bill Dundee, Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura, Io Sky, Sheree, whichever you want to go with, Gilbert Leduc, Drew McIntyre, Steve Gray, Ted Boy Mariano, Les Kellett, Los Infernales, El Centenico, and Parada Morgan and MS1, FTR, and Mercedes Moné. So those are going to be the ones on the ballot for next year. It seems a bit. I want to say it seems a little convoluted to me. Some of the requirements for this, but it seems rather strenuous. They're not going off of a feel-good thing. They have to have a certain amount of votes to even go into the Hall of Fame. So,
you mentioned belt makers. Some belt makers are a little bit pretentious. Won't mention their names, but we won't get into that.
No.
Yeah,
you could tell me off the air.
Yeah,
but
they think a little bit too highly of themselves. I'll just say that. That happens. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe if you. I understand as somebody who has like a background in carpentry, like I get a little prideful about what I create with my hands. Even stuff like the opening and stuff for this show that I kind of pieced together, again, used my own hands, but I'm not going to sit there and be pretentious about it. Yeah.
So on one hand, I get it. On the other hand, it seems a little ridiculous to me. So
yeah, I mean, I won't mention their names, but you might. Well, I don't know if you know them at all. A particular belt maker who made some Japanese titles. I'll stop right there with specifics. I think you know which one I'm talking about.
Possibly.
He holds his titles in very high regard, but also shames WWE's in a way. Okay. It's like, you made that one belt, and whatever.
Okay. It's like one belt that this person has made that's like.
Well, he has other ones too.
Okay.
But.
Okay. Well, you could tell me off the air. We won't do anything like that here. But speaking of belts, of course, we talked about last week. WWE's new women's U.S. title. Was unveiled. Well, we're having a tournament right now.
Yeah.
The finals will be at Saturday night's main event on December 14th. The first round matches are as follows, and some of these are already completed. It's triple threat matches. You have Bayley taking on Candice LeRae and B-Fab.
Bayley won that one.
Yes, she did. So she is moving on to the semifinals.
She'll face the winner of this next one.
Yes, Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green versus Blair Davenport. Then we have Jade Cargill versus Michin versus Piper Niven. And then Naomi taking on Tiffany Stratton and Elektra Lopez. As to what Josh said, yes, Bayley did win her match, so she moves on. That's not the one I wanted to click on. She does move on to the next match, to the semifinals, and she'll be facing whoever wins between Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport. If I were to put my money on it, I would say Bianca Belair is most likely going to move on.
I don't know. Chelsea Green's got a huge amount of support, so I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe. Yeah. I don't see Blair Davenport doing it.
No, I mean she could be the wild card here, but she kind of is the wild card. But
when you look at all the names that I just listed off, she kind of is the wild card.
Her, B-Fab, and Elektra Lopez.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is, so they have not announced a women's Intercontinental Championship yet. But based on the fact that all of these women in this tournament are SmackDown only,
that kind of tells you, they're going to eventually introduce one.
Yeah, and that's something that we talked about last week on the show, and we're not the only ones that are speaking about this.
Yeah.
That's something I've seen passed around online quite a bit.
It only makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this: it's about time
Yeah.
that they did something like this.
Yeah. It's interesting they actually did it first in NXT a few months ago.
Yeah, with the Women's North America Championship.
Yep.
So, I mean,
I guess they were seeing how it would go first there because that's kind of the developmental to see what. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You want to do it sort of at a smaller scale.
Yeah.
And then move it up to the main roster and everything. So yeah, and we've, like I said, it's about time that they did something like this. But it does look like the finals will be at Saturday night's main event on December 14th. So, and then actually a few weeks after that, after Saturday night's main event on December 14th,
Before that is NXT Deadline.
That's true. That's
An
true.
interesting note on this Saturday night's main event, real quick. At least as far as we know, this will be the final event to actually live stream on the international WWE network before it shuts down.
Okay. So after that, like for international people, are they going to?
They're going to Netflix. There's a few that are on like Disney Plus and stuff. I think they're staying on Disney Plus until that runs out.
Yeah.
But everywhere else that still has WWE Network currently, they're going to Netflix.
And with that right there, that also tells me, at least this is in my head, that, and we've said this before on the show, that once the Peacock deal is over,
it seems likely they'll switch over.
Yeah, if they're already making moves like that internationally, then it just seems like that is where they are going to go in 2026 with it. So, and that's when the Peacock deal is up with NBC. So, speaking of Netflix and all of that,
interrupt you. This is where you're going.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. You helped me with this segue. So yeah, so speaking of Netflix, and this is a side note. This past Friday was Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. Yeah. I'll say this to the people that were really, really, really wanting to see Mike win this fight. I didn't think Mike was going to do it. I didn't because of just how these Jake Paul fights have went. But that's not why we're talking about this.
Yeah.
On that broadcast, it was confirmed that the first episode of Monday Night Raw will be on January 6th with a new logo. So a whole new logo.
It's weird because they showed a different logo like, I don't know, a month ago. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And maybe that's the logo that they settled on.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was not a smart idea to eat a Jolly Rancher in the middle of doing this.
No.
It wasn't. It's not one of my brightest ideas. I'll tell you that one right now.
People with that there's some kind of weird noise thing that people really hate. I'm kind of one of those people too. You can hear those. You really hate those noises, like mouth noises.
Oh yeah, like somebody that's eating and they're like smacking their lips and stuff.
I hate that so much.
Yeah,
there's actually some kind of name for it. I can't remember what it is.
There is there is like some type of mental there is a name for it that like where you get like I'll say this. Do you get like unreasonably angry about it? Or do you just you're like, I just don't want to hear that? Like which both. Okay.
Yeah. Like I mean I don't show the anger, but it's in there like I just really want you to stop.
It's going to come after you.
But it's weird because like some noises it's fine, other noises it's just like it's really really annoying and drives me crazy.
Yeah, no, I understand. There's plenty of noises that people say through their mouth that that it drives me a little insane. So that was one thing from the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. The other thing was, and I saw this all over social media the other night about this. The servers were not faring well with the high traffic, which Netflix, with the high traffic, which could be causing some concerns about WWE's move to Netflix. Some estimates were that there were around 120 million people tuning in at once. With most of those outages happening in big metropolitan areas such as Los Angeles, New York, etc. So that is something that Netflix is going to have to really work out. Now, I don't know if 120 million people are going to tune into Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, because I mean, like right now in the U.S., they average around 2-ish, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of where their rating is, but that's also cable.
Yeah,
you know that's one thing. Like, you know, and I'll say this that's one thing why we don't really talk about ratings on here, because in this day and age with the media that we have, the rating system is kind of archaic in a way. Even this show is not just on terrestrial radio. It was a podcast and it went on terrestrial radio, and you can get it in. You know, you can either listen to it on WSWW on Mondays around 1:00, and if you're joining us around this time, thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. But you can also listen to this on Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addict, YouTube, etc., etc.
Everywhere you get your podcast.
Yeah, wherever you get your podcast, you can go back and listen to this. So, yeah, that is some concern about that. I did see a lot of memes about Triple H wanting to being rather nervous about the servers going down. And you said you were telling me off the air you were able to tune in and watch that, and you didn't have any issues, did you?
There were a couple of times it froze and had to buffer, but I mean, aside from that, it wasn't like terrible.
Yeah. Apparently, some people, I guess they had like straight up outages on it. So, yeah.
I mean, like I will say, when it did freeze, it froze for like, I don't know, 15. It was kind of a long freeze, but when it came back right where it paused instead of catching up to wherever the broadcast was.
Yeah, which may have some delays.
Yeah.
I will say this. So where we were talking about ratings and how Raw averages around 2 million viewers a week, and that is on traditional media.
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be more than 2 million.
Yeah.
That they're going to have on Netflix, because a lot of people, especially people around our age.
Yeah, but also it's going to be worldwide too.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be worldwide, and there's a lot of people that do not have basic cable or satellite anymore. They got away with it. They're exclusively streaming. So I imagine that Monday Night Raw may average between the world, the way our media landscape is. This is just a complete guess, and I'm pulling it straight out of the air physically. Josh just saw me do it. I would imagine they might average around 10 million an episode.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I will. One thing I was going to say, I just thought about the quality of the stream, though, was actually really good throughout the entire time. Like,
really?
It didn't really get pixelated or anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it does depend on your internet speeds, of course. And mine isn't the greatest, but yeah.
Yeah. My brothers were actually talking to me, and they were talking about how it was on Netflix and stuff, and I was like, hold up, we were talking about stuff like this on the show for a year. And I was explaining to them how Netflix has been changing, like been gearing more towards this type of programming.
I think this is only like their maybe, I don't know, they've only had a handful of live things now.
Yeah.
But they've never done a weekly one, which are going to start with Raw.
Exactly. And I think that this may have been the biggest one that they had so far.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I don't know. We will wait and see. But we did get a confirmation on the first day of when when Raw will debut on Netflix, and that will be January 6th. And while we were talking about social media, different media landscapes and stuff, we were talking last week about the NWA, and we were like, wait a minute. I know that they were on X. Mm-hmm. They gave a date at the end of October?
Yeah, I think the 29th, whatever that Tuesday was.
Yeah. And we didn't hear nothing else about them. So I did a little digging.
Yeah.
They're still on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So, for anybody that's wondering, it is every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when NWA Power is on X. And it seems like for the foreseeable future, that's that is what we're looking for.
Random question: was that a dog we just heard?
It sounded like a dog.
Are they making millions on a WWE shop?
Maybe.
CM Punk's dog is.
Larry. Oh, Larry. But so NWA is going to be. Got me with that one. Yeah, I'm a little confused right now. I don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah, it sounds like a dog.
Well, you know what? I'll say this. it wouldn't surprise me because there are people here who do bring their dogs here, like while they're doing their stuff here. So it's really not out of the realm of possibility in here.
CM Punk, if you're ever on the show, bring Larry.
Yeah. Hey, I would say this, and I will extend the invite. I would love for CM Punk to join the show.
Yeah.
So as long as he doesn't start roasting me while eating muffins, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So NWA is still on X, Twitter, whatever. On the latest episode, Primo and Epico Cologne made their debuts. So they are, as we know, they're no longer with the WWE. So they are.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. But maybe
their cousin's there though.
Their cousin,
Carlito.
Oh yeah, he is. He is in WWE at the moment.
Yeah.
I was like, I got confused there for a second. I'm like, no, Carlito's with WWE. Like, he's not with okay, now I know what you're saying. Never mind. Never mind. I was telling Josh before we got started about how slow I've been moving today. So this is just playing into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where you can watch the NWA if you choose to do so. Just to wrap everything up before we get to On This Day in Wrestling History, Tony Khan has announced this past Tuesday that they've bought the rights to November Rain. And if you don't know, November Rain is a song by Guns N' Roses. This is supposed to be the theme song for Full Gear, but not only for Full Gear. It's going to be for their November to Remember campaign for all of the shows that they have in the month of November. And a music video did debut last night on AEW Collision. So Tony Khan is like, I will say this, I do enjoy him paying for these songs to be played. Final Countdown, $50,000 per use.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm glad he shelled out the money for Bryan Danielson's last run.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's $50,000 per use.
Why did he charge so much? It's like, what? I don't understand.
Yeah, when you own the property to it, maybe you're jacking the price up just so that not everybody and anybody can use it. So, I don't know. It is hard to tell. But yeah, November Rain by Guns N' Roses will be the theme song for Full Gear. And actually, speaking of theme songs, T-Pain's version of War Pigs is going to be the theme song for Survivor Series. That was just again.
I think it's been the theme song for every War Games that they've done so far.
Was it T-Pain's last year? I thought it was Ozzy's last year.
It might have been Ozzy's. I know it was War Pigs.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I think this year that they are going over to T-Pain's version of it. Which, crazy enough, everybody like talks bad about T-Pain and like the modulation of his voice and everything. It's like he really has a good voice.
He does when he's not using the autotune.
Yeah, when he's not doing the autotune and everything. So,
but I'm not a biggest fan of autotune, but the way T-Pain does it is very colorful. It's not like I have to use it because I can't sing. It's just he's doing it for effect.
Yeah.
A lot of people do it because they just can't sing.
Yeah, but T-Pain proved that he can sing.
Yeah.
So, and he will be the theme for Survivor Series. So instead of wrestling themes, let's go ahead and we're going to go to On This Day in Wrestling History. November 17th, 1996, WWF presents Survivor Series. We were just talking about Survivor Series. From Madison Square Garden, New York. The show is remembered as one of the most historically important in the history of WWE. Most notably marking the television debut of Rocky Maivia, a.k.a. The Rock.
The final boss.
Yes. But this was when he was...
He was noob.
Yeah, he was
Level
a white,
one.
he was straight up a white meat baby face. Who would become the sole survivor in their Survivor Series match, which was his debut match. Later on the card, Bret the Hitman Hart wrestled his first match since WrestleMania 12, facing and defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin for the first time. In the main event, Psycho Sid enjoyed surprising fan support as he defeated Shawn Michaels to win the WWF Championship.
Rest in peace, Sid.
Yes. Rest in peace, Psycho Sid. November 17th, 1997, WCW Monday Nitro was in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in the opening segment, the NWO introduced their newest member, Ravishing Rick Rude, sporting his mustache. Dun, dun, dun. An hour or so later, WWF Monday Night Raw aired its pre-taped show from Ontario, Canada, some 700 miles away, and Ravishing Rick Rude was in the ring with a full beard. As it turns out, WWF officials thought they had extended Rude's contract, but he had other ideas due to the Montreal Screwjob and jumped to WCW, becoming the only wrestler to appear on both shows on the same night. That weekend, he would also appear on ECW Hardcore TV.
What a beast.
Quick note about this particular day in wrestling history. Over on Monday Night Raw, this was the same Raw where Vince McMahon said the infamous line, "Brett screwed Brett." So this was the Monday Night Raw right after the Montreal Screwjob. So, yes. And then, just to wrap it all up, November 17th, 2002, WWE, because they weren't F yet. Oh, they were already F. They had just become WWE this year in 2002. Survivor Series returned.
May 2002.
Yes, May 2002. WWE Survivor Series returned to Madison Square Garden, New York, and was a night full of the changes. Billy Kidman pinned Jamie Noble to take the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. In a hardcore match, Victoria pinned Trish Stratus to win the WWE Women's Championship. The Big Show became the first man to pin Brock Lesnar to win the WWE Championship in a match lasting just under 4.5 minutes.
Is that the one where Paul Heyman turned on him?
I think so. I mean, it makes sense because Big Show became, where he was the first person to pin Brock Lesnar.
If it wasn't that, then it was like maybe before.
Maybe it was leading up to it.
Yeah.
Los Guerreros, Eddie Guerrero, and leave me alone. And Chavo Guerrero defeated Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit and the team of Edge and Rey Mysterio in a triple threat elimination match to win the WWE Tag Team Championship. In the first ever Elimination Chamber match, Shawn Michaels defeated Triple H, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, Kane, and Chris Jericho to become the World Heavyweight Champion.
You know, the interesting thing about all these title changes, only one of those still exists. And a couple of those exist in a different variation.
Is the WWE Tag title the only one that's still around, technically?
Yeah. So the WWE Women's Championship, that is not the same one that exists today.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same lineage, correct?
Yeah, the WWE Tag Team Championship here is the current World Tag Team Championship on Raw.
Wow, okay.
And then the World Heavyweight Championship is not the same one that Gunther has.
Yeah, and then the Cruiserweight title is not the same either.
And it wasn't the same one as the one they had a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, different lineage.
Yeah, okay. This is why we call you the belt expert. You see, he knows
WWE Championship's still around.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that.
There you go. All right, so we're going to close it out there. When we come back, we have predictions.
Defense number 4, Jason. Yeah.
We have predictions for AEW Full Gear. Stay tuned.
It's time for more of the Grill Out. Here's Hollywood Jeff Petty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grill Out, episode 61. I'm your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty. I'm joined by the reigning, and he's about to defend his title.
12 days.
Josh Cole, baby.
If I make it through this defense, I will become the longest reigning champion.
Okay. Listen, you got to defend. You have a defense today on this episode, and you have a defense on next episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I think after that, there's only 1, 2 maybe that we got left. I know we got World's End.
Oh, yeah, World's End, yeah.
Yeah, so...
That would be... I mean, unless we do NXT, that's it.
Yeah, it's... I think after that, you have one more defense for the rest of the year, so... I'm sure Jason's listening and pulling his hair out right now because he really, really loves to say that he's the longest reigning predictions champion. So, as what we said, AEW Full Gear is this upcoming Saturday. So with that, of course, we got to do predictions. Now, we don't have the entire card in front of us because AEW loves to add matches in the 11th hour before the pay-per-view. At least they've gotten into the habit of doing that.
Yeah.
So, card subject to change between now and then, but as of this recording, this is the card that we have in front of us. So, for the pre-show, Big Boom, AJ with Big Justice taking on QT Marshall. I am actually going to go QT on this one.
Oh, my.
Jason is going to go AJ. And Josh, who is your pick?
I do not know who this Big Boom AJ is.
I have no idea.
And I don't know
either.
who Big Justice is either.
I have no idea either.
Is he serving justice?
A whole lot of justice.
I guess.
A big old thing of justice.
For this reason and this reason only, I am going to go QT Marshall.
Marshall. I don't know if he's calling himself Marshall anymore, but it's just it's kind of fun to say.
Yeah.
It really is. Roderick Strong taking on MJF. Roddy.
Now we're on the main card, by the way.
Yes, we're on the main card now. Roddy Strong, he won this chance to face MJF.
Yeah.
In the singles match. Jason's going MJF. Okay, that's who his pick is. Me personally, I am going to also go MJF. So, Josh?
I mean, it could
He's
be
thinking.
MJF.
He's thinking.
It could be MJF.
He's calculating over there, ladies and gentlemen.
I could see Strong winning this one. It feels likely MJF.
All right. He thought Strong, but he went with Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Yeah.
Now we have Jay White taking on Hangman Adam Page. Jason is going with Switchblade, Jay White. Me, who should I go for on this one? I like Adam. I like Adam Page.
Yeah.
I like what they've been doing with him. But I feel like Jay White is due.
These are good assessments.
Yes, he is overdue for a big win. And I will say this.
Very much.
In my opinion, and I don't think I'm the only one that shares this opinion about Jay White being on AEW, he's been good, but they can do so much more with him.
Definitely.
So, that's why I'm going to go Jay White.
Yeah.
So, Josh?
So we said Jason's also with Mr. White.
Yes, both of us are going with Switchblade.
I'm going to have to agree. I feel like he, just sort of recently came back, maybe a few weeks ago, if that.
Yes.
And, I mean, what has he done since then coming back? I feel like he needs this more than Hangman.
Yes, absolutely. Here's the thing. We're saying this right now, and all three of us are agreeing on it, but watch it be Hangman.
It very well could be.
Yeah.
Because AEW likes to throw that swerve in there.
Yes.
Not Mr. Strickland.
Yeah, we'll be getting to him here shortly. So moving on, we have a four-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. Your current champions, Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, will be defending the titles against the Outrunners, Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd, taking on also Kings of the Black Throne, Malachi Black and Brody King, and then the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster.
Everyone loves the Acclaimed.
They do. I love the Acclaimed.
Yeah.
Jason is saying that Private Party is going to retain their AEW tag titles. This can go. I do like the Outrunners.
Yeah.
We've sung their praises on the show before. I like Malachi Black and Brody King, but I don't see them doing it. I just don't. Part of me wants to see the Acclaimed do it.
They don't need it.
Because I love the Acclaimed. I know they don't need it, but I still want to see it. But Private Party just won the titles.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't think I can go against that. So I'm going with Private Party.
That is a very good assessment. I would really like to see the Outrunners in this case.
Oh, so is that who your pick is?
I don't know about that.
Okay. All right.
Because a Private Party is a very safe bet here because they did just win the titles.
Yes.
2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think we talked about it episode before last.
Yeah.
Actually, we talked about it a few episodes ago, I think. So, I mean, I know it's been very recent that they've won the titles.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
It is. It's a very tough one.
That title defense.
Yeah, you got your title on the line.
Yeah.
They're defending their titles.
Screw it, Outrunners.
All right, he's going Outrunners on this one. Yeah, I would love to see them do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the safe bet on this. Yeah. All right, singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné with Camille will be defending her title against somebody that we've interviewed on this show before, Chris Statlander.
Yeah, go back and listen to us back in April.
Yes, it was. It was a great. I'll say this: it was fun working with AEW.
We got quoted in Fightful for that.
We did. We got quoted in Fightful. We got a lot of hits on that one. So, then you go over to YouTube and there's the one episode where we're talking about Def Rebel and it's like the second most listened episode on there.
Yeah.
So it's got like almost 600 views now. So yeah, I don't know what we did on that one.
I don't know.
Jason is going Mercedes Moné on this.
Interesting.
That is a very interesting pick. Me, I'm gonna go Statlander.
Oh my!
I'm going to be an outlier on this one. You got to take some risk. Yeah. And I'm willing to take a risk on this one.
See, the Outrunners was a good one. This one is not a good one to take the risk. It's Moné.
You're going Moné. Okay.
You got to see that impending doom of Camille. Then again, this could be the match Camille turns on her.
It could be. It very well could be. I feel like it's sort of a like we talked about earlier about Jay White needing the win more. I feel like Statlander needs to win a little bit more on this one than Moné, because we need to start seeing her and Camille, turn against each other. But anyway, next we have the singles match at Swerve Strickland taking on Bobby Lashley. Jason is going Lashley on this one. That's a solid pick. Bobby Lashley just came into AEW. I don't even think he's had a match yet, has he?
This is his debut match.
Yeah, okay. To say that kind of just sealed the deal for me. Yeah. Bobby Lashley's going to walk away with this one. As much as I sing Swerve Strickland's praises on this show, because to me he still is a top 10 talent.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, it's Lashley. It's his debut match. It has to be him.
Yeah.
Like.
Swerve's he's going to take the fight to him.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good match.
I feel like if Lashley loses, this is just going to diminish this whole idea of the Hurt Syndicate coming in and like taking over in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So Bobby Lashley definitely is going to walk away on that one. Next, we have singles match for the AEW TNT Championship. Jack Perry, scapegoat Jack Perry, defending his title against Daniel Garcia. Jason is going with Perry. And I kind of have to agree with him on that. I don't see Jack Perry dropping the title on this. For some reason, I don't.
I just don't see, no offense to Daniel Garcia, I just don't see it in him, at least not yet.
No.
So I'm going with Perry.
I mean, maybe Perry wins this one through some nefarious means. And then, it sets up maybe a rematch down the road between him and Daniel Garcia, and that's when he drops the title to him.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, that's. Next, we have Will Ospreay taking on Kyle Fletcher. Jason says Ospreay for this one. I'm going to go Fletcher.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, my.
And the reason why I'm going to go Fletcher, it's sort of the same reason I've been giving the other ones. I feel like he needs to win more than Ospreay. I think because they're setting Kyle Fletcher up like he is Ospreay's equal.
Yeah.
And in order for him to be Ospreay's equal, he has to get a win over him.
This is true.
And I think Kyle Fletcher is a great talent. He is very, as to what the kids say, he's very Will Ospreay coded. So I'm going to go Kyle Fletcher on this one. Champ, what you got?
You make a compelling argument.
I tried to do that.
Yeah. So I was going to go Ospreay, because he's the good guy here. And yeah. Ooh. You see, okay, Don Callis shenanigans are going to happen, and that's how Fletcher's going to win.
Okay, you're going to go Fletcher, though?
I'm going to go Fletcher.
Okay. Now, if we got Don Callis things happening, it does sort of put a light asterisk right beside the win.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing.
I don't think Fletcher is going to beat him clean.
Fair. Okay. I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah.
All right. What we have right now is the main event. Not our main event. We'll get to that here shortly. But Jon Moxley will be defending his AEW World Championship against Orange Cassidy. Jason is saying Moxley. I will also say Moxley. I would love to see Orange Cassidy do it, but Moxley just won the title. He's been doing this giant takeover at AEW. He's wanting to do this giant reset, which I think is the correct thing to do right now.
Yeah.
You know, there's been sort of within the past this year alone, there's been a lot of bad press around AEW. So why not slap the title on somebody that you trust? And let's be honest, I don't think there's much of a debate on this. Jon Moxley has shown time and time again that he is a trusted person to put the title on, and somebody that is going to carry not only the title but the company.
Yeah.
Especially in times of peril is the best way I can put it. So,
yeah.
Jason's going Moxley. I'm going Moxley. What do you got, champ?
I would love to see Orange Cassidy win this one.
Yes.
And I feel the story is kind of there, but at the same time, I feel the story is there for Moxley to keep the title because he did just win it. What was it? Wrestle Dream last month over Bryan Danielson of all people.
Yes.
Ending his full-time career.
I mean, we even had a Moxley takeover at the TBS Superstation the other night.
Yeah, that was. I don't know what takeover was exactly, but yeah.
I don't know. I just saw it.
Yeah. He had a segment. That's all I really saw.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
As somebody who has worked in production, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do behind the scenes that people won't see.
Yeah.
That goes out to all the people out there listening to this who work in production.
Yeah. I feel like if this wasn't like his real first defense after winning the title with this whole takeover thing going on, I would give it to Cassidy. But since this is just kind of the start of this, I'm going to go Moxley.
Okay. I think that is a solid pick. Oh, okay. All right. I think that is a very, very solid pick. I don't think you can go against Moxley on this one. And yes, I would love to see Orange Cassidy do it as well.
Yeah.
I think everybody would. I don't think everybody, but I think most people would love to see Cassidy walk away with the AEW title. And I think at one point he is going to.
Yeah.
But this ain't it. This ain't the time.
Ain't it, kid?
This ain't it, kid. So just to go ahead and give you the rundown real quick of all of our picks for the pre-show match. Big Boom AJ with Big Justice taking on QT Marshall. Don't know if he's saying Marshall, but it's just fun to say that way. Josh and I are both going QT. Jason is going AJ. And then we have MJF taking on Roderick Strong. All three of us are saying MJF on this match. And then we have Jay White taking on Hangman Adam Page. All three of us are saying Jay White. Private Party is defending their titles against the Outrunners, Kings of the Black Throne, and the Acclaimed. Jason and I both are saying that Private Party is going to retain. Josh is basically saying they're going to be transitional champions and it's going to go to the Outrunners. Mercedes Moné will be defending her title against Chris Statlander. I am saying Statlander, while Jason and Josh are both saying Moné. Swerve Strickland taking on Bobby Lashley. All three of us are saying Bobby Lashley. Jack Perry defending his AEW TNT Championship against Daniel Garcia. All three of us are saying Scapegoat Jack Perry for this one.
That's right.
Will Ospreay taking on Kyle Fletcher. Jason is saying Will Ospreay. Josh and I are both saying Kyle Fletcher. And then for the main event, Jon Moxley will be defending his AEW World Championship against Orange Cassidy. All three of us are saying Jon Moxley.
Moxley.
So, in case you don't know, these picks usually come down to a couple points anyway.
a point or two.
Yeah.
They get determined like that a lot. Yeah. So especially if you're a longtime listener of the show, you're like, hey, yeah, that does happen quite often with those guys. Yeah. But yes, it's most likely going to come down to just a couple of matches just going in odd directions or whatever. So
yeah.
Anyway, right now I already talked about the main event, AEW Full Gear's main event, but now we have our main event.
It looks like all the talking has been done. It's time for the main event.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event where we go ahead and let you know what your upcoming week of professional wrestling is going to look like nationally, internationally, and locally. As far as internationally and nationally, starting on November 19th, New Japan will start their World Tag League, and that will go through December 8th. If you're not familiar with the World Tag League, it's pretty much like the G1 Climax. It's a round-robin tournament where everybody is in their respective blocks. Everybody scores points, 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points for a loss, and then the winners of those blocks go on to face each other in the finals. Of course, we've already said this upcoming Saturday will be November 23rd, and that will be AEW Full Gear. That will be their November pay-per-view. Not their last pay-per-view of the year. They still have Worlds in, but AEW Full Gear will be this upcoming Saturday. And, of course, we've already done our predictions for that. NWA Power, as what we said, will be on Tuesdays only on X at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as far as the rest of professional wrestling on television. Of course, you have Monday Night Raw. Tuesday is also where NXT is on the CW. You have Monday Nitro. You have AEW Dynamite on TBS. And then, of course, Thursday is TNA and Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Took me a second there. Fridays will be SmackDown and Rampage. Yep. And then Saturdays will be Collision.
Except for this Saturday.
There will not be a Collision. Yep, I'm glad you caught me there. No Collision this upcoming Saturday because, of course, we have AEW Full Gear, as what we've been saying throughout the show. Locally, it's another light weekend of shows. For Friday, November 22nd, Pro Wrestling Conquest is back in action in Charleston, West Virginia with 2% Hits Different, which will be held at the Quantum Sports Center in Canal City. Bell time is at 7:30 p.m., and it's $20 for adults and $5 for the kiddos.
It hits different.
It does hit different. For Saturday, November 23rd, Battleground Wrestling returns to action presenting
The Battle of Bull Run,
which will be held at the Fear on the Farm Haunted House in Winfield, West Virginia. Bell time is 7 o'clock and tickets are $20. But it is very limited seating as only 100 tickets are being sold, so make sure you get there.
I'm a little bit confused by the name because Bull Run is in a different location, but okay.
It's the bees, man.
I guess.
Yeah. Also for Saturday, World Domination Wrestling Alliance will be in action for
Count Your Blessings
at the Bennington Volunteer Fire Department in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Bell time is 6:15 p.m. and tickets are $20.
So I see what Jason did last time. I was just trying to give these events some character, some different identities.
Oh my goodness. I love it that like my two co-hosts, that both of you butt heads over things. And I'm just over here basically as the referee.
Yeah. 12 days.
So, yeah, that's going to be the main event for this upcoming week of professional wrestling. If there's a show that we've missed or, whatever, you can email us to grillout95@gmail.com or message us on Facebook. And speaking of social media, I have an announcement in the next segment. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and stop it right here. We're going to take a quick break. And when we return, I have a few announcements for you.
Yeah.
Josh and I both have announcements for all of you beautiful ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Stay tuned.
Once again, here's Hollywood Jeff Petty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grill Out. Woo! I'm your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty, and I'm joined by the current reigning and defending Grill Out Predictions Champion, Heavyweight Predictions Champion, Josh Cole, baby.
We don't have weight classes here.
Oh, well,
I'm a cruiserweight.
Yeah, well, you got a point there because you know what? They take one look at me and they're like, hey, that's definitely heavyweight right there.
Yeah.
So heavy, I got my own gravitational pull. Self-deprecating humor, ladies and gentlemen.
Lord.
Self-deprecating humor. So you hear us talk about all the time on here about the Facebook page, which you should go like, facebook.com/The Grill Out. But we also have another social media account that I just created this past week. Yes. It is called Blue Sky. It's
Blue Sky.
Yeah, it's basically Twitter is what it is, but it's where a lot of people are going at the moment. I already have an account on there. It is my name on there is grilloutpetty.bsky.social, so it's at grilloutpetty.bsky.social. That's my social media handle on there. But the Grill Out is also on there as well, so you can follow the Grill Out on Blue Sky at thegrillout.bsky.social. Like I said, you can also go to the Facebook page. And, of course, you can always email us, thegrillout95@gmail.com. And that is not the only announcement we have in this final segment.
Woo!
Josh is giving a hint with the words over there. So I know that we haven't done a Grill Out hot tag in a couple of months. Since the first one came out, go back and watch it. We did a episode on the infamous Muda scale, explaining it and its origins and whatnot. Our next episode will come out for the Grill Out Hot Tag. Will be this upcoming Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock
p.m.
Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time.
East Coast.
Yep. And on this episode,
coast.
actually, what is it?
The best coast.
While I'm sitting here head to toe in Dodgers gear.
Good Lord.
Leave me alone. And you know what? You're on me about the Los thing. Los Angeles. Leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
He's on me about that while I'm sitting here wearing Los Angeles Dodgers gear.
Yeah, well, that is Los Angeles.
What is it?
That one, yeah.
Leave me be. Leave me be.
Good Lord.
So I'm going to go ahead and hand it to Josh real quick, and he's going to give you a quick little preview about our upcoming episode, because it is something that I've said before plenty of times on this show that Josh is an expert at. And he's even corrected me on a couple things and pointed out things to us when it comes to belt lineages. So, Josh, take it away.
So on our next episode of the Hot Tag, episode DOS, D-O-S,
That's
not
two.
DOS, DOS.
Leave me be.
We're going to be talking about how many world championships Ric Flair actually held. Spoiler, it's not 16.
That's true. Josh dives deep into this episode about Ric Flair and his many, many world championships.
Yeah.
Some of them that Josh was pointing out, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew about some of them, but I did not know about all of these.
Yeah.
He even pointed out, about which ones are counted where and which ones are not counted here, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, shoot, there might even be some we don't even know about that's not documented.
that's true. That's very true. Because some of these defenses, some of these title reigns, were. It was in a time when social media wasn't a thing.
Yeah, they could get away with things a little bit easier.
Yeah, you could have
like that fictional tournament for the original WWE Championship.
Or I was going to say the Intercontinental title.
That one too, same place.
Yeah, exactly. Pat Patterson, may you rest in peace, but we know you didn't win a tournament in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah,
we are well aware of that. So, like I said, this upcoming Wednesday will be. I almost said AEW Hot Tag.
Oh.
It will be the Grill Out Hot Tag episode 2, DOS. And Josh is diving deep into all the world titles that Ric Flair actually holds.
Yeah.
And yes, it is not 16. It's more than that.
We do not have a Ric Flair on our Grill Outs championship.
We did.
Oh, was that the one that fell off?
Yes. Yeah. Listen, I made... Okay. So the 10 ounces of plastic, real quick, we only got a couple minutes left. The 10 ounces of plastic is literally a plastic big gold belt.
Yeah. And this is like from the 2000s, so it has the kind of styrofoam strap instead of the kind of weird.
I'm gonna sound like a boomer
strap.
right now, but yeah, it ain't the titles that the kids got these days. We didn't have that.
It's a little sturdier, I guess.
Yeah, Yeah, it doesn't have that fake toy leather to it.
Yeah.
It's styrofoam.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when I was a kid, those were like so much easier to customize your belts with.
Yeah.
Like with a hot glue gun. Yeah, I was customizing belts with a hot glue gun at one point. That's how far back this goes.
Yeah.
I actually was talking to somebody this past week about professional wrestling. I showed them a picture of myself when I was 3 years old, and I had a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt on.
What?
It's like, yeah, that's how far back this actually goes. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode of The Grill Out. Make sure you go check out Grill Out Hot Tags episode 2 coming out this upcoming Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you haven't listened to the first episode of The Grill Out Hot Tags, like I said, we took a dive into the infamous Muda scale, its origin and everything. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check this out. Go like the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Grill Out. If you have a Blue Sky account at thegrillout.bluesky.social, you can also email us, thegrillout95@gmail.com. And until next time, fellow wrestling fans, have a good one.